I decided to dive into West African culture by listening to an artist I've heard about recently named Mdou Moctar. According to a Spotify biography, Mdou Moctar is considered to be one of the most innovative artists in modern Saharan music. He's a Tuareg guitarist and songwriter based in Agadez, Niger. I think I just came across one of his performances on YouTube and got hooked immediately. He's got a real raw guitar sound that reminds me a lot of Jimi Hendrix, but I'm also really into the scales and rhythms he uses that I typically don't hear in American music. The Tamashek language he sings in is also quite beautiful to me. It's got a real honest tone, I guess. It allows me to imagine myself in a different land other than my own. And because I've only really obsessed over one of his songs, I decided to experience the album it came off of. And it happened to be a soundtrack album for a movie he was in. And this movie is based on Prince's feature film from the 80s titled Purple Rain. It has a similar title. It's Akanak Tadala Taha Tazaugai. I probably butchered that. And this translates to rain the color blue with a little red in it. This entire record was an experience I thoroughly enjoyed, and it definitely enhanced the walk I decided to go on while listening to it. Of course, I don't speak his language, so I had no idea what I was being told. However, this let me focus on my emotional reaction more and infer what he could be talking about. So the first track begins, and I'm instantly transported to somewhere in West Africa. Already I'm hearing the spiritual sound. It's a sound that could probably heal wounds or the souls of some. Mdou Moctar is singing in a way that's almost like a chant, like a prayer almost. In between his preaching, his guitar speaks in shreds. It's only a sound for the traveling man. It's truly a sound for the traveling man or woman. Or maybe it just fit my walk perfectly. I was literally just going up the street and it felt like I was heading towards the promised land. One track is all it took to make me feel wiser than before. Roddy Ricch doesn't really do that for me, but I do fuck with Roddy Ricch. His music reminds me of the world and my life being a part of something so big. I wasn't just tapping my hands along with the beat, I was imagining his voice as a narration. And because I didn't know what he was saying, I followed his vocal inflections carefully. I heard in track 6, specifically, a sort of reassurance in what he was saying, almost like he understood the demons we face, but he explains that it's just part of the path we all take. And sure, one can learn that in many different styles of music, but this hit different. Track 7 is next, and I really feel like this is music I should have been listening to a long time ago. It's just so psychedelic without sounding cheesy, and it feels very authentic and doesn't make me cringe in any way. This now makes me think maybe I'm accepting of it because I respect the fact that it comes from somewhere I'm not, or maybe that's what makes it cool, the fact that it's not from where I'm from. And the rest of the album continued to be the soundtrack to my life as I continued my short journey. It was an awesome experience, and I hope to eventually watch the movie that this album was originally for. I guess the only thing I'm somewhat worried about is the fact that I could be bopping my head to some words that I don't necessarily agree with. So I'll probably translate some lyrics later. Nonetheless, this music really spoke to me, and I highly recommend people do this more often. It's good to explore the arts of different cultures. It proves how similar we are as people.